Quis custodies ipsos custodes. This is a Latin phrase that roughly translates to who will watch the watchers. It is a theme that permeates throughout the state capture saga, but rings ever more true for the report which shall be the focus of this video. Today I shall be speaking on Volume 1 of Part 5 of the State Capture Commission's report, which focuses on the secret world of spies, as the State Security Agency and crime intelligence fell under the microscope of the State Capture Commission. We got a peek behind the curtain, and what we found wasn't pretty.
Sorry. Umkhuhlane uyala ukuthi ngikhulume.
Nearly 1 year ago, as a result of riots provoked by the arrest of former President Jacob Zuma, arising from his inability to appear before the State Capture Commission, South Africa lost over 50 billion rand in damages and over 300 people lost their lives to the violence. An expert panel looking into the riots found, in short, that our security services were outwitted and unable to keep up with the planners of the riot. This volume of the report provides a clearer picture into the murky world of espionage and just might help us understand why our spies were so incompetent and caught flat-footed. It revealed a world of extreme corruption to the tunes of billions of rand, criminality, political interference, and downright abuse of power. Before we get into the contents of Volume 1, I thought it would be quite helpful just to provide a bit of a background in evidence law, just so you could understand what the hell's going on. Let's take a sidebar. The Commission was merely tasked with investigating and compiling evidence before making the requisite recommendations. It does not have the powers of charging, prosecuting, or sentencing. These are left to law enforcement and the courts. The Commission has, however, made a number of recommendations for investigation and prosecution in order to guide law enforcement. However, that does not make these slam-dunk cases, as the evidence compiled by the Commission does not constitute proof of the crimes. This is because only a court may accept evidence of a fact as proof of a fact, as the standard of proof in criminal matters, as most of these arising from the report will be, is beyond a reasonable doubt. Therefore, the evidence must be tested on this standard before being conclusive. However, the report does serve as prima facie evidence, meaning evidence at first glance. This essentially means that the proof to the contrary may still be presented to the court, but in absence of such proof, the report will be conclusive evidence of the crimes detailed. This provides a unique opportunity to expedite prosecutions that could have taken years, and provide a glimmer of hope of imposing accountability, as explained by the former Inspector General.
We have hope. We didn't only come here to assist the Commission. We also have hope that maybe this Commission will be different from all other commissions. It is a first Commission that has a rule which says that the information gathered here may be used for prosecution. I think that is a novelty as far as this Commission is concerned.
The Commission compiled a combination of documentary evidence as well as witness oral testimony to paint a picture of a security service out of control, which had become a law unto itself. Some of the main witnesses in this regard were Mr. Mo Sheikh, a former head of the foreign branch of the State Security Agency, Mr. Lee Zonjenje, a former head of the domestic branch of the State Security Agency, as well as the former Director General, Dr. Jeff Maqatuka. Their evidence made serious, even criminal allegations against people such as Dr. Siyabonga Cwele, the Minister of State Security at the time, Arthur Frazier, who recently made headlines for his laying of criminal charges against President Ramaphosa. The reasons for those actions become even clearer based on this report. The allegations, however, were regarding his time as the head of the principal agency network. And last but not least, as well as former President Jacob Zuma.
I've been vilified, alleged to be the king of corrupt people. I'm the most corrupt. I've been given every other name, and I'd never responded to those issues. Firstly, because I believe it is important that we all respect one another.
There was further important testimony from people such as Dr. Dintwe, who is a former Inspector General of Intelligence, which is tasked with oversight over these clandestine services, former Director General Loyiso Jafta, as well as a few agents either attending to internal investigations or whistleblowing under pseudonyms to protect their identities. These testimonies provided the meat to the allegations of impropriety by our spies. Some of the most salacious include the direct intervention and interference by Dr. Cwele and former President Jacob Zuma to shut down investigations against the Guptas when their influence became apparent. The commission eventually found that Jacob Zuma's intervention in stopping investigations against the Guptas was one of the factors that contributed towards state capture, therefore directly linking the former president to the project of state capture, further extending that culpability to Ambassador Cwele, with the commission finding that he involved himself in operations of the SSA by interfering and effectively calling a halt to the investigation into the Guptas. It was ultimately stated by the commission that had these investigations been permitted to continue, the Gupta's activities may have been deterred.
He didn't think that there was an issue to be investigated, because he understands all the matters connected to the Gupta family. We listened very patiently. I can't recall whether we pushed back, but it was clear to me that, and later when I checked with the others, that President Zuma, in no uncertain terms, expressed his preference for no investigation to continue.
There was also damning testimony of corruption and criminality targeted at Arthur Fraser, whose principal agency network in the State Security Agency acquired assets such as houses throughout Gauteng, with some registered in the name of relatives, even children. There were over 300 cars purchased and wasted IT equipment, all up to 600 million rand. They even went as far with their illegality as employing family members into non-existent positions. Due to these findings, Arthur Fraser was part of a select group mentioned for investigation with the intention of prosecuting on the evidence already gathered in the report. It was even revealed that former Minister David Mahlobo would receive 4.5 million rand per month, allegedly for delivery to former President Jacob Zuma. There was evidence provided of projects to bribe judges, aptly named Project Justice, and even to infiltrate universities with trade agents during the Fees Must Fall protests, as well as the bribery and influence of local media. The abuse of taxpayer money was widespread and even included the use of State Security Agency resources to fund the accommodation and meals of ANC MK veterans in ANC events, as well as using these resources to influence ANC conferences. Things have become so out of control that members of the State Security Agency were even made to swear allegiance directly to President Zuma and whatever lackey he had as minister at the time, despite not being required to do so in terms of the law. Nevertheless, all these accused were provided opportunities to dispute these allegations and provide evidence to the contrary. I'm not quite sure how much they managed to achieve this, and from the report it's clear they did not. However, it did leave us with some of these gems.
If Mr. Pretorius is going to have an attitude, I can give one back.
No.
He can't speak to me like a child until
the whole country, at one point there was a demonstration that we have never seen before, when the white community came out in great numbers. Zuma must go. What has he done? Nobody can tell. He's corrupt. What has he done? Nothing.
The commission found the allegations serious and the evidence compiled compelling, even going so far as to recommend for investigation and prosecution for criminal charges specific individuals such as Arthur Fraser, Thulani Dlomo, and David Mahlobo. The recommendations also extended to systematic changes such as providing the Inspector General with additional staff, as well as his own budget and unfettered access to classified documentation. This is often through classification that State Security Agency officials would hide their illegal actions from scrutiny. These findings are deeply concerning and indicate a state security agency more concerned with looting than protecting the country. From these findings, it is no wonder that they were so impotent in the face of last year's riots. It is unclear whether the president's interventions will exacerbate or remedy the situation, but what is clear is that those implicated must face criminal prosecution so that the state security agency's aura of impunity will diminish.